Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee are the most accessible competitive Pokemon games that we've ever seen, so there's no reason to not be battling. Now I wanted to make this video just to show everyone how easy it is to get into Pokemon Let's Go and how amazing the potential of this game is. Like, I want to see a community. I want to see the Pokemon community back together where everyone is loving Pokemon. It's not about spite. It's not about hate. It's not about tearing each other down. But the thing is, I'm the only one sharing this message. So you gotta leave a like. You gotta share this video with all your friends. And we need to make sure that YouTube is also promoting this video because I don't understand it. Like, right here, right in front of us, we have the golden opportunity. We have the best way of getting everyone to love Pokemon again in a way that we haven't seen in years, in decades. We can bring the community back together and we can get new players in. We can have everyone enjoying Pokemon, but people are against that just because Verlisify is saying it. And that's just wrong to me. You know, that goes against the spirit of Pokemon in every way I can imagine. This is why we need to stomp out the hate with love of Pokemon, because let's look at it like this. You know, that's it. Like, I'm here and now we're battling. What I hated about the 3DS was that you had to do friend codes if you wanted to battle with your friends, and you know, sometimes I wouldn't be able to just jump into a battle. With this, you just get to jump into a battle. Pokemon XY, Pokemon Sun and Moon, one of my friends, hey, I finally finished my team after 2 months, let's battle right now. And I would just be like, oh, I don't want to add a friend code, I don't want to close out my game, I don't want to do all that. Now that little bit of extra setup, it wears on you after you add 200 friend codes, after you add more than that. I love the idea of the battle gauntlet I was doing years ago. I was just battling fans nonstop, but the hardest thing for me was managing battles that way, because I have to add the friend code, they have to add mine, we have to then time everything up. But with this, if you have free time, and your friend has free time, you go, alright, let's go. 2 Rattata, Jigglypuff, we're in. And now you're battling. No friend codes required, nothing like that. But it's not the battle spot. It's not competitive and there's no random battles. All we have to do is all agree on one thing. 3 Pikachus. Now we're battling. Maybe also, like, this is why the community is so important, because we need to focus on a lot of things. What if you want to do a legendary format? Maybe 3 Eevees is legendaries and stuff like that, 3 Pikachus is standard battle spot, and there could be codes that develop. This is where community building thrives, and I love the idea of that. Also, what about local groups? You know, if you have a group of friends, or maybe even like a Discord group, Facebook group, you're hosting a tournament, you can automatically do random seeding. You go 3, 2, 1, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Diglett, and then everyone gets randomly paired up. There's no friend code changing. There's no all this management that has been wearing down on Pokemon for so long. You just hop into battles and then you're playing Pokemon and you're just enjoying the game without any kind of setup or anything like that. Also, the Pokemon Global Link. That was a disaster. I'm pretty sure people still can't get their accounts to register properly and then get all set up with that. And then oh god, don't even get me started. You know, just going into the festival plaza, that made me not want to battle right there. The PSS was a lot nicer, but even then, that was still not as good, not as clean. So now we have the best battle setup that we've ever seen in Pokemon, and people are against it for no reason, just because they're hateful now. You know, this is why we just get rid of the hate. Bring in people that just want to learn how to play Pokemon. You know, we're trying to like cast out like, oh, this is just a baby game for Pokemon Go and younger players. Now it's a Pokemon game for everyone. You can get competitive set up so quickly because candies don't matter. You don't need to plus 200 all your candies. EVs, AVs, don't worry about it. Just get IVs from catch comboing or hyper training, talk to Madame Celadon, catch the Pokemon you want because there's Pokemon everywhere and they're so easy to catch, and then you have a competitive team ready. Everything is so accessible, everything is so free, and this makes it, like, I don't understand why people are against this as well. This is our time to train the next generation of Pokemon battlers. Now, the reason why Generation 6 thrived when it came to competitive Pokemon is because we had the easiest competitive setup that we've seen. Because Generation 4, that was work. Generation 5, that was work. Generation 6, oh, we have Friend Safari. Again, like, you had to add friend codes, you had to take those extra steps, but now we had IV accessibility, we had the Destiny Knot, we had ways of getting competitive Pokemon that were just so nice. Now, it did get easier in Pokemon Omega Green Alpha Sapphire and Pokemon Sun and Moon, but then just hacking boiled up more because of that, which doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, with Pokemon Let's Go, there's still a lot of hacking, which is a big problem. But I don't think it's going to kill the game as much because you can get into competitive with a lot less stress. You know, you just find your team, you make it, you set it all up, and you're good to go. So we have so much opportunity for community building. Many people, like millions, maybe at least over 1 million people, got into competitive Pokemon battling by watching YouTube guides, by engaging with the community because the 6th generation allowed that. 7th generation kind of killed it, but I think now we have like this renaissance. It's been 5 years. There's more than enough time to bring new players into Pokemon, to bring old players back, so everyone enjoys and loves Pokemon. If you have a friend that hasn't picked up Pokemon in a long time, and you know that they play Let's Go, show them this video. Show them my guides. You go into that description, you find catch combo guide, rare Pokemon guide, competitive guide. You get set up, and it's not that hard. And then you share this, and then everything just gets better and better. And that's what I want to see in Pokemon, and I don't understand why people don't want that. So yeah, just don't sweat it when it comes to the candies. Just get a good catch combo on Pokemon, get a 5 IV, use Madame Celadon, and you're set. That's all there is to it. So if you don't like breeding, this game is for you because it keeps you active. It's a lot more engaging than running back and forth on a route or something, or also spending the tons amount of time that it takes to get a breeding base set up. You had to do SOS battles. You had to do all kinds of these other grinding battles. You had to do the friend safari. So you had to add friend codes to then try to hope that your friends had the right Pokemon. You get little bits of IVs, you string them together, you dex nav, you do all this stuff, and then you start getting like 4 or 5 IVs that you can start breeding down with. There's a lot of mechanics and there's a lot of stuff involved, and it took a lot of time. With this, if you want a Pokemon, you go find it in the wild, you chain it, and then you're done. And you don't even need to do that. The thing about Pokemon Let's Go is it gives you another option in Hyper Training, and Hyper Training is actually not terrible like it was in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Because what you do, you go to Cerulean Cave, you chain up you chain up Chanseys for a while, and then you can get Pokemon to level 100 faster than we've ever seen in any other Pokemon game. You battle Mina every day for a silver bottle cap, you go and check the game corner for a gold bottle cap, so that means now you don't even have to go through the potential 50 catches of a Pokemon to get a 5 IV Pokemon that you're happy with and then go to Madame Celadon and stuff like that. Could maybe even take longer depending on RNG and stuff, but overall it's like Madame Celadon, catch a Pokemon, catch 5 Pokemon, catch 6 Pokemon, get them to level 100, and then you just bottle cap them up through Hyper Training, and now you can just do team building that way. So there's a lot of different elements of team building, and that brings us to the items. Another thing that makes it accessible is there's no competitive items to worry about. I think one thing that's kind of been forgotten as a competitive player is the 50-hour minimum investment that it takes in the battle tower or something, or the battle tree. You have to go there, you have to just grind and grind and grind. 48 points for a competitive item, we need 6 of those. But then there's also EV training, so you need the power items, then you need to get a destiny knot for breeding, you need to do all these other things to get competitive. Not in Pokemon Let's Go. Like I said, if you just want to get one Pokemon set up, you're good. If you want to do a 3v3 battle, well, then that's even less time. If you want to do a 6v6 battle, you still have the opportunity to do that. There's so much free-form accessibility. You just do things, the game rewards you, and then you have a team that you can be happy of. And then when it comes to setting up your Pokemon competitively, you don't have to worry about egg moves. You don't have to worry about wasting more hours and more time on battle points for tutor moves, and the TM list has been reduced. And there's one thing I want to make clear. Removing items, abilities, and certain moves does not make the game less competitive. It actually makes the game more competitive because there's more balance. There's actually more to do when you don't have all of this over-centralizing stuff in the way. So let's take Charizard for example. I think Charizard really shows a lot of the problems that we had in the 7th generation, and even some of the late 6th generation. With Mega Evolutions, with all these crazy abilities and items and just power creep that we've seen in Pokemon, every game either became one of two things. A 6-0 sweep, or an insane sweep where you accidentally let something get a Dragon Dance off, or set up a little too hard, like Calm Mind, and then you instantly lose, or it became an instant stall fest. If that sweeper Pokemon wasn't on the opponent's team, or if you were able to stop it, well then the game just grinded to a halt. Now you're in 60 turns of trying to break the other guy's Toxapex or their other super ridiculous stall Pokemon. We don't have that in Pokemon Let's Go. A lot of sustain has been removed. Items like leftovers don't mean that we get that extra little bit of sticking power on tough Pokemon. But on the other side of the coin, we don't have Life Orb, we don't have choice items, so then that means there's going to be Pokemon that can't just abuse all of these crazy damage ramp-ups that we've also seen, and then removing Synthesis and a lot of other setup items, weather games. You just play Pokemon. You just run out there, you play Pokemon, and the battles are going to be so much more entertaining. Like Charizard, for example, there's no Belly Drum, there's no Dragon Dance. So now when you see a Charizard, you actually don't know what's going on. It's not going to be a Charizard X that only Belly Drums into a 100% sweep, or Dragon Dance into a 100% sweep. You don't have to worry about countering as many Pokemon because they're not overwhelmingly powerful. Dragonite with Dragon Dance, that would break the game. Not in this. So now Dragonite is just a stat Pokemon that has a decent amount of coverage that you just get to run into and have some good times with. I like where the game is going because every time I think about something, it just balances itself out. It's well, this Pokemon didn't get this move, but then that means this Pokemon's viable, but with that Pokemon viable, then that means that's going to be, a strong response to it, and then everything just kind of works out. I really think there's so much potential with these games by reducing things. It just kind of shows that, yeah, adding more, just pumping more things into an unstable game doesn't make it more stable. I think League of Legends has shown us that over the last 8.5, 9 seasons of the game. With this, it's hey, let's dial it back. let's see what happens. And so far, the results have only been amazing. So I mean, I'm a really big fan of that. And then when it comes to TMs, getting your Pokemon set up competitively isn't hard at all because the TMs, they're very easy to get to. Now, technically, this is also kind of the same because of Ride Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon version and Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. But, like, not having to worry about HM slaves, oh my goodness, that changes up the game from anything like 4th to 6th generation. You know, some TMs took almost 10 minutes to get because they'd be buried at the end of a maze-like cave, and you'd have to make sure that you brought a Surf, Waterfall, Strength, maybe even Cut Pokemon, and then you'd have to like really go on an adventure just for one move on one of your Pokemon, and then you'd have to do that a lot of times. And also, the amount of TMs in the 3DS era of Pokemon games was just ridiculous. 100 TMs! That is the amount of content you would find in a Nintendo 64 3D platformer, like one of those side items that you need to collect all of. That was just like what you needed to do to get into competitive for a Pokemon game, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Pokemon Let's Go only has 60 TMs, and they're usually just necessary TMs that are going to get usage and play, and they're not that difficult to get a hold of. You find a coach trainer, or they're just kind of on the ground in an easy area, and because of all of your partner abilities, you just kind of run into them, you get them, and then you're set up. At the time, we should be community building instead of just breaking each other down, but that's all that people care about right now. I feel like I'm the only person that's like, hey, let's enjoy Pokemon. Let's not get upset at all these people because, you know, they're enjoying Pokemon Go and they want to get into Let's Go. You know, this isn't a baby dumbed down game. Remember Pokemon Stadium? Pokemon Stadium had no items, no abilities, yet a lot of us sunk hundreds of hours either in NPC, like just in the story mode, or also just battling friends. You bring your friend over, you make some rental teams, and that's an all-nighter. You know, you finish that off with some Mario Party at the end, and that was how you lived back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was just great. And now we have another chance to relive that in Pokemon Let's Go, but people are just trying to take it down. And I honestly can't understand how or why, especially because we have so many more tools. Pokemon Let's Go is much more balanced Pokemon Stadium. The rental teams didn't have great movesets. You still have a lot of moveset options and opportunities, even with the reduced items, abilities, movesets, and stuff like that. There's going to be an insane amount of dynamicness to the battle, and we were still able to find that years ago when there was even less to work with. So that's why I mean, like, everything just kind of comes together to where it's like, you know what? We can all have fun again. We can all play Pokemon again. We can all just enjoy the spirit and community of Pokemon like we haven't seen in years. And for some reason, people aren't given that chance. That's why I've been saying, you need to like this video. You need to make sure that YouTube promotes this video to everyone. You need to promote this video to everyone in your Facebook group, in your Discord group. Just making sure that everyone comes together and we battle Pokemon because it's so easy to set up. And then if you just want to get competitive, like I said earlier, you know, you just go for a catch combo. And I've done a lot of guides on that, so you can find in the description down below how to get rare Pokemon, how to get a catch combo, how to get competitive Pokemon, all that fun stuff. You know, it starts off with a few little catches. Next thing you know, you're just enjoying yourself for hours, and then you have like a team of competitive Pokemon. And I like that. Like, again, there's just no excuse. You have different ways. It can match your playstyle, can set up the Pokemon how you want, and then we just all get to enjoy Pokemon again. And I love it. So you guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.